South Korea has declared a period of national mourning after more than 150 people died over the weekend during a crush at a Halloween celebration. Among those who were killed, at least 26 foreign nationals, including 2 from the U.S. Officials are promising a thorough investigation into the tragedy. Let's get more on this with NBC News contributor Thomas Maresca, who joined us now from the South Korean capital of Seoul. Thomas, good to have you with us. So walk us through how this all unfolded and what we're learning about the victims.
Good morning, Joe. Fundamentally, too many people in too small of a space. One street over from me is an alley filled with bars and nightclubs that was crowded with tens of thousands of people that were here to celebrate Halloween. And, beyond that, the actual details of an inciting incident, what happened to cause this crush, is still being investigated. Eyewitness accounts talk about people falling backwards like dominoes. The alley is on a slight incline, so that could have played a factor. But at this point, a lot of questions still remain to be answered as to how this happened. Among the victims, the large majority were people in their 20s. More than 2/3 were people in their 20s. The rest were teens and 30s. So a very young group of partygoers. And as you mentioned, 2 of them were Americans. It was Stephen Blessy and Ann Gieske, who were both 20-year-old study abroad college students here.
I do want to ask you more about the investigation. I mean, what is it authorities in South Korea are saying that we can expect from the investigation in the coming days and weeks?
They've put together a task force of around 475 people. They've been over here interviewing witnesses, examining closed-circuit TV footage. So far, they've said they haven't seen anything that is a criminal factor. And again, they don't know, they haven't announced any sort of cause yet. I think we'll eventually learn the fundamental details of it. But I think the bigger question that most people are starting to ask with greater urgency is really, how could this have happened? There have been a lot of complaints or criticisms already that there just weren't enough police here to start with. And then when things started to get too crowded, there were not ample crowd control measures. And those are questions that the investigators are going to have to address, and that the public, are still in a mourning period. But I think demands for those answers are going to increase as well.
Thomas, while we have you, I do want to ask you about something else. The U.S. and South Korea started their largest ever combined military air drills today. What more can you tell us about that?
Yeah, so they kicked off, it's a 5-day joint air drill. It's called Vigilant Storm. There's around 240 planes taking part, 100 from the U.S., 140 from South Korea, including F-35 bombers. And it really comes in the context of heightened tensions on the peninsula for several months now. North Korea has been conducting weapons tests and missile tests one after the other, and officials in Seoul and Washington are assuming that a nuclear test is imminent anytime. So, in response, the U.S. and South Korea have really ramped up their combined operations. They've grown closer in their military cooperation as a response or a preparation for just anything that might happen now. But the U.S. and South Korea have also conducted large-scale field drills, naval drills. So this is kind of continuing in this pattern where the stakes seem to keep rising.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC News app.